Welcome to the Whiskey Vault. I'm Daniel Whittington, Chancellor of Wizard Academy and Whiskey Marketing School. Level 4 Whiskey Sommelier. This is not my actual one, but it is a level 4 medallion thing. Brother Justus today. This was sent to me, and so definitely a gifted dram. The brand sent this, if I'm not mistaken. And Phil Steger is the owner. He didn't personally send it to me, but someone from these guys did. These guys are one of the earlier American single malt guys. If I'm not mistaken, it's Minnesota and Minneapolis, actually. This is not the normal Brother Justus. This is a special edition. We've got 4 or 5 bottles of Brother Justus in the vault, including the original, the plain one that just has a cross on it, which I'll pull one of them from over here in a second. And but this is a special edition that they call Commander's Own, and it's meant to partner with the 34th Infantry Division Association, where they worked with Brother Justus and picked this 2+-year-old whiskey blended with 3-year-old whiskey in Minnesota White Oak. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. Oh, less than a year. So it's 3-year-old whiskey blended with less than a year-old whiskey to give it a little bit more punch. And then proceeds were shared with the association, the Red Bull's legacy. Commander's Own Chapton. Phil's got Phil started the thing the way that all the craft guys really did. There was first generation craft guys and second generation craft guys. A lot of the second generation craft guys came from the whiskey industry and were like, I'm gonna break off and do my own thing. A lot of the first generation craft whiskey guys were just like, whiskey sounds like something I could probably try to figure out. Let's give it a shot. And then they just figured it out and did a bunch of things wrong and then fixed it and did a bunch of things right by accident and then started doing them on purpose. And Brother Justus comes from the tradition of I'm just gonna figure this thing out. And he just waded right into it and tried to figure things out. The name Brother Justus comes from a Benedictine monk in Minnesota that sort of, let's just say, supported not quite legal distillation and consumption and sale of spirits during a time when that was, shall we say, prohibited. If you like getting to see things that you might actually be able to get your hand, I don't know about the commander's intent, or commander's intent, the commander's own, it's another military term. If you like watching reviews of stuff that you may or may not be able to get your hands on, it would be helpful if you would like and subscribe to this channel. It helps us out a lot, if you're not already. Let's try the nose. It has, there's something in there. There's a note to young malt that is really hard for me to pinpoint on, I keep backpedaling. There's 2 ways to describe things. There's the way in which you recognize things as level 1 of pattern recognition. I smell this, I recognize it, it smells like young malt and strong oak impact. But then there's second level of communication, how do you communicate what you're experiencing to someone else in a way in which they will also go, oh yeah, I totally get that. There is a note in young American malt, and I actually found it in some Irish craft too, but mostly American malt. That is a combination of youth with a lack of oxidation time on a higher age statement, yet a sort of slightly ramped up barrel impact compared to a really, really used oak component. And it's a note that as soon as I pick up the glass, I think, young malt. But I have yet to figure out how to explain to you what that is if you don't know what I'm talking about. I still have not figured out the right language for it. It is honey, but honeysuckle. It's floral, but it's granola-y. It's maybe pear, dry poached pears. It is definitely dried fruit. There are fruit notes in here that are really nice. That's a great example of a really nice fermentation. And there's a lot of honey. On the palate is where you get that, Honey Nut Cheerio is the wrong direction, but it's close. It's creamy, it's honey, it's granola and grain forward, that's the youth. And that definitely pushes forward certain things, but it also tends to, in my experience, like really double down on the creamy vanilla honey notes. But they don't taste like honey, they taste like drizzled over grain honey. Yeah, it's not green, but there's something that's I can't put a finger on. It's tangy at the end. All the palate lives in the middle and then into this finish where it kind of goes ring, a little bitey. But it's nice. Cool label. I actually really like their other labels. And there's a thing that you're going to see. This is oh, yeah. Hang on. I'm going to get the other one. And it's not to compare to this one. It's just another Brother Justus because the one that I have at my fingertips right now is the peated one, and I really like that one. So... All right. So this is the cold peated one. And I love this bottle, that flat black kind of thing going on. This one, Brendan Kite gave us this one. Oh man, and that's got this phenolic, almost licorice note to the smoke. All the honey and all the granola and all of that slight fruit floral, and then add this phenolic smoke that borders on black licorice. Interesting. So this one says Brother Justus American Single Malt. This one says Brother Justus American Whiskey. That's actually because with the new American Single Malt Commission, the rules are pot still and 160 proof is the highest you can distill, and it has to be on a pot still. Brother Justus is using hybrid stills, and they're going above 160 proof on some of their production, and that takes it out of the new rules of American Single Malt that were just passed a year and what year? This year? Last year? February? Yeah. And so instead of altering their production, they're just going to call it American whiskey instead of American Single Malt. When they first started creating stuff, there were no rules for American Single Malt. Everybody who created American Single Malt in the U.S. and put it on their label, Balcones, McCarthy's, everybody, Stranahan's, they were just using the words American Single Malt, but it was considered a fanciful title. Now it has legal meaning. And so Phil chose, instead of altering the production of what he makes, to just own the title American Whiskey, instead of changing production to fit the new definition of American Single Malt Whiskey. I was just speaking of the American Single Malt Commission, I was just at ACSA in Sacramento, hanging out with a gathering of the American Single Malt Commission and drinking some really freaking incredible American Single Malt from a whole bunch of my friends. It's one of my favorite categories, so it's fun to get to try Brother Justus, who lives in that category. Of these two, I actually prefer the Commander's Own. I would have thought it would have been the peated, but there's something about the Commander's Own that's really nice and really hitting the spot. Anyway, cheers to you. I hope this was helpful. I'm really glad you're here.